the way we have been learning and understanding. I hope so. So I will start with one step understanding how the contemplation and reflection works. So when I use the word permanent happiness, so permanent happiness and the intellect says I have understood. No, without contemplation and reflection, we cannot we cannot reach to that state of experience. So sometimes what happens, the permanent happiness is also known as a bliss. And there we have destroyed everything. The bliss has to do with the happiness that comes in contact with some object outside. That is how the English word bliss defines. Second thing is that once we say permanent happiness during the talk, you say, okay, I understood. That is the nature of the real self. But no, it will not work that it will not work that way, my friend, unless we contemplate and reflect. So there is one master who says that go and look closely the phrase in the intellect, what it means. Permanent happiness. So when you look closely, then we start contemplating and reflecting. So if you have a single word or a single phrase contains different words, there is a contemplation and reflection is different than the having a single word. So now it is a permanent happiness. So start thinking, qualify permanent with happiness and qualify happiness with the permanent. Start thinking what it means. What is permanent? I am happy in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You see, I'm qualifying with everyone at home, at work. Does it mean permanent? Yes, it means permanent. Now, happiness is different from the pleasure. So you are reflecting, thinking. Happiness is different from the pleasure because the pleasure is short lived. Happiness should continue. Why? I am searching permanent happiness. But all kinds of pleasure is okay. The pleasure is short lived. Why it is short lived? As long as we are in contact with any object or a person or a time or a situation or an event, we experience pleasure. Can you say to your honey, keep me hugging 24/7? They will throw you out. Are you crazy? So it means pleasure comes when there is a contact between. I'm going into the first phase of the contemplation and reflection. So now happiness is different from the pleasure. We have understood that the pleasure is short lived and the pleasure always is experienced when I come in contact with something that I like. I cannot get the pleasure what I dislike. Do you see how contemplation and reflection works? So when you are thinking like this, the mind that contains trillions of impression will be replaced by these thoughts, which contains the right knowledge. Then only what we say the awakening and realization takes place. So you qualify permanent with the happiness, you qualify happiness with the permanent. And then you sit down and practice. So what happens in the practice, that knowledge remains available to you, to your mind. Then what happens? Every meditation practice succeeds. And what do you mean by the practice? Practice is nothing to do, it's a knowledge. Whether you are doing breathing, whether you are chanting the mantra, or you are doing any practice, that knowledge lives in the mind and it constantly gives you the input of happiness from within. So one Upanishad, now you are aware, one Upanishad says, Anandam Vai Brahma. That Anandam is permanent happiness, is the real self. What is the reason? Impurity is the lack of awareness. What is the impurity of the mind? That's what we have been covering, is the lack of awareness. Why it is the lack of awareness? Go on asking, contemplate. I'm contemplating for you. Why there is a lack of awareness? Because something in the mind pops up that I'm getting a pleasure from outside. That is the impurity. That is the desire. That is the likes and dislikes. That is anger. That is hesitation. That is delusion. Then I have understood. Then why you are stressed? You have understood then. Why you are stressed? Now that's a different thing. I'm made by the God in a special way. It has given me some stress. No, it will not work. So one has to go. From the next session, we'll go deep here. So what is that impurity? Is the lack of awareness. It is a superimposition of the false, habitual life, impulsive life we identify. And that causes the problem. So that is why our master, that is this text we are studying, he says that the purity of the mind is absolutely mandatory, essential, so that not only we succeed in meditation, but awakening takes place. Purity of the mind is required. No purity, nothing is going to happen. So it means what to say, a seeker constantly strives with a firm resolution for the purity of the mind. Now, see, you have a purity of the mind. No one claims that, no one considers that you are an enemy, you are going to react. Whatever anyone can say in the family, at workplace, they can say. But you are following the path. So that is going to help your personal, professional, social life. So it's not only closing the eyes and meditating and then ready to react with others. No. So that is why the purity is not only essential for our journey to the self-discovery, but for also our personal, professional, and social life. So what happens, I have overheard sometime from others, when we raise our level of awareness, we start criticizing others. Oh, look at this guy, he is living with a lack of awareness. That is not your job. That is another kind of impurity, very subtle impurity. Now my honey is not interested in meditation. I'm doing a meditation, so I build a ego. Ego is the greatest impurity. Are you getting it? So what happens? And then you come back to me, you see that, she is not doing and she is creating a problem. So you perceive the problem inside. That is the impurity of the mind must go. I have nothing to do with it. So the top priority of all the seekers to be the purification process. Otherwise, we will fail. That is one reason. We say, no, I have done meditation for so long and there nothing happens in that. Nothing will happen. all the practices becomes fruitless without purification of the mind. Understand it clearly. So now we know the cause. We have not to remain attached to the likes and dislikes, to this world outside, but we are living in the world. Continue to live in the world. Then the master also, we covered that. The master covers that good karma alone is not enough. I've been very kind to my honey, and this honey still creates a problem. Be kind to the snake. Let me see. So I should contemplate and reflect where I should be kind. All babies are so lovely. Baby snake, cobra. You can keep the baby cat in your hand, no problem. Keep the baby cobra in your hand. We stop thinking. When we stop thinking, then there is a problem. Thinking means contemplation and why should I be kind when the honey always lives in that state of reaction, mental and emotional challenges? Why should I be kind? But it does not mean that I should fight. Now, I'm not going there. So first thing, the good karma alone is not enough. Then we talked about the obstruction and the impurities. So keep in your mind that thought that real self dwells in the cave of my heart, and still I'm not able to find it out because of the impurity. Because of the impurity. So I covered one aspect also, the 5. Do you remember? I believe so. You all remember. Why should I talk to you like kids? No, you all are mature. The 5 points. Kakachesta, the effort like a crow. I failed because I have to succeed. Kakachesta, Bakodhyanam. The focus like a crane. The crane bird. Swana Nidra Tathaivicha. Sometime you want to go to the restroom in the middle of the night, go there, come back, and now for half an hour or maybe 10, 15 minutes, you remain awake. Why don't you practice meditation? Start contemplating, reflecting. We never think about it. I'm giving you a very practical Kakachesta, Bakodhyanam, Taswana Nidra, Tathaivicha, and filtering the food and also the thoughts. So once we have a base about the impurity and the purity of the mind, so today I'll give you a brief understanding of conventional methods for attaining the purity. Conventional methods. And then we will talk about what is the greatest method for the purity of the mind. During that period, you keep on thinking, what should be the greatest method of purity of the mind? Is it breathing? Is it mantra? Is it being kind? Think of it. So the conventional methods of purity of the mind has been practiced by a lot of Indians. Yoga and Eastern wisdom is a part of the culture in India. So what happened is that we have started following or doing those practices like a ritual, like a habit. So it has lost its significance. So, but for people living in this part of the world, they should also be aware what are the conventional practices for the purification of the mind. Normally, it is done in all monasteries in one or the other way. There you have any master in the monastery. Many practices are done. We can classify those conventional methods And we should apply those conventional methods in our day-to-day life also for the purification of the mind. The common point in these conventional methods is to raise our level of awareness, and we start thinking, how should I fulfill my responsibility in the family, at work, in the society? That is one way to see it. I do not separate myself from the family internally, mentally, psychologically, because that keeps our ego intact. And the ego attracts the impurity. Are you getting it? I'm trying to explain in a way so that you all can understand. So, what is common in these methods? Common in these methods, in your thought, speech, and action, there should be a simplicity, there should be a level of endurance, there should be a kind of love and affection towards each and every one, leaving aside the likes and dislikes to get rid of the delusion and attachment. So these conventional methods help us to deny the mind to repeat the impurity. Again, another part. To deny the mind. No more impurity. I'm not going to repeat the same thing. So what is going to happen, that once you deny the mind that is repeating the same thing again and again, you are replacing in the mind those negative thought pattern plus the feeling. You deny your anger, you deny your hesitation, you deny your likes and dislikes. So those negative impressions which are being repeated, they calm down. Now they do not upset you. I'm coming to the conventional methods step by step, but I'm just giving you an idea. Majority of our unconducive situation, negative situation, reactive situation or condition in the life is due to the impurity. So the masters have created many conventional methods to remove that impurity. You are, say for example, you are with your mom and the mom is normally a reactive, and you have created a set pattern how to respond. So that response is also full of reaction, and then you both get upset. But late in the evening, you say, Mom, I'm sorry. And you say, your mom also says you're sorry. You get along with it. And after a few days, the same thing happens. We keep on doing it. We keep on repeating it. That's not going to help us. So masters have discovered many conventional methods were discovered to purify the mind in those live situations. We will go to the greatest method in the end. I remember the first time when I went to, third time when I went to the master long back, almost 40 years ago. He said, go there and wash, clean all the restroom. There are about 30 rooms there. I knew, I had studied it, but practically I experienced for the first time. In US, it's not a problem because family members, anyone can do it. In India, there is a taboo. Their own husband should not do it. It's a job of the homemaker. So, can we attack our ego? Can we deny the recurrence of a negative situation in our relationship with people, situation, conditions outside? Is it possible? Master says it is possible. We are on the journey of purifying the mind. So I will name these. I will name these in this journey today. I will name these different conventional methods. One is known as yajna in Sanskrit, and is yajna is known as sacrifices. The English rough translation is. Then, if I go a little further, it means that I should think in what way I can contribute to the world outside, including the family, the members of the family, and at workplace. You think in terms of contribution. We will talk about it in detail. So that is the first contribution, contribution, and the gratefulness. The mom starts fighting with you. The first thing you think of, it is because of the mom. I am living a human life. Uh, let any person be so cruel. Who cares? You change your perception. It's a changing your perception. So same thing towards the guru, same thing towards the knowledge that we receive. I'm still talking of the yajna. I will talk in detail. I'm from where I'm talking. I'm talking of from all those 3,000 masters who continue this tradition of this Eastern wisdom. I don't have any responsibility towards them? Should I not pay respect to them? Oh, when I pay respect and I move with the love, obviously impurity of the mind. See that. That is the idea. Oh, my parents gave me the birth. Should I not respect? So what we are doing, we are not fighting, we are respecting, we are loving, we are affectionate. So that affection, that respect is going to help purify the mind. You may take it in a very simple way, but it helps. Second is that we will talk in detail and understand. Second is about the charity. Charity. What is this charity? Charity in the social life is known as the purifier of the mind. How it purifies the mind. I pay you a couple of the bucks. Does it purify the mind? Or I offer that bucks with an attitude, with a mental attitude. Does that purify the mind? We'll talk about it. So you see that in every monastery in India, they have a tradition of seeking a charity, and based on that, there are big monasteries. You'll be surprised that this part of the world, people in this part of the world will be surprised that I have recognized, and I have visited those places. There are 10 big monasteries where they offer 3 meals per day. And if I calculate how many people are offered 3 meals every day by these 10 monasteries, it goes to only 5 million people every day. And that is only based on charity. So we'll talk about that. So first is the yajna, the sacrifices. We'll talk about it. Second is the charity. The third is the austerity. Austerity, or you can say penance. That is the word used. But I have to learn endurance. What exactly is the endurance? In what situation we have to live with level of endurance? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Another way to purify the mind is the japa. Have you seen the rosary? People are just with a particular mantra, they constantly recite those mantras, particular mantra. That purifies the mind. We talk about it as a japa meditation, but it is a purifier. So we will not, if you don't have the rosary, we will do it with our fingers. I'll give you such a powerful tool. The moment you start doing it with your fingers, it helps, it becomes a great purifier of the mind. I'll just give you an overview of this purific conventional methods. We go on a vacation. That's a typical attitude. If you don't say that, I'm going on a vacation, you feel, it's some complex. So many people go on a vacation to those places. Oh, now I'm planning for a vacation. So my all vacations, majority, I would say 90% of my vacations is used to be with my master. I have 1 month free. Okay, let me go on a vacation. I used to take my family. So I'm not saying that you should do it, but at least, if you. So that is another word is given that you will understand, pilgrimage. Vacation is also pilgrimage. Pilgrimage to all kinds of pleasure. I will go on vacation to Sin City. So, no, I'm not saying don't go there. I'm not going against any. And then we have small vows. We take a small vows, observances in our life. Today I will do this throughout the day. In terms of the food, in terms of my attitude, I have a strong resistance against my dad or honey. So I wake up in the morning, I will keep loving that person in the family. I will move with love and affection, even if the person reacts. Why? I'm selfish. I want to purify my mind. So these are some of the five conventional methods. And then we will work on these each and every in a in a in a detailed way. Why we should work on this way? That needs also to be understood. Why we should work on that way? Because we are a social human being. You cannot practice meditation 24 by 7, sitting with eyes closed. But you can allow the meditation to enter into your personal, professional, social life. That is why they are known as the conventional methods for the purification of the mind. So we'll discuss and we'll talk about each and every conventional method first, and I will simplify it. It's more to do with your mental and emotional attitude out of every conventional method. So in India, people have taken it as a ritualistic, as a habitual, it is impulsive. No, it will not work. That's why it's not working. We'll go deeper so that we can apply in our daily life to purify the mind. Ultimate goal is our awakening and realization. Close your eyes. So you all are seekers. Close your eyes. Position of the body. and check how fast you can settle yourself. You can settle yourself in comfort, in calmness, in a greater self awareness. Normally, what happens, we have in our mind, we have an impression of a reaction against our honey, so our posture, our gesture, all supports that. So in meditation, that is why I said be settled. Are you still struggling with the body, breath, mind, and the position? You have to check it. It is because of the mind. Being comfortable. So being comfortable, looking at the neck joint, being there, feel. So now you see that your mind will instantly move to the sensation, comfort, and you still continue to it. But now it is a play for you and a fun for you. You look at the neck joint, being there, you have an experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Mind doesn't want to go out, it goes deeper into the space, into the calmness. Done. So it means how far you can extend that period of being aware of the space and mind living within. What is this? Practical experience of purity. And suddenly the mind triggers. From where it triggers? Past impression that I discussed last time. So now you're consciously doing the practice. You are your own teacher. I'm just a catalyst. Masters are just like a catalyst, they do nothing. Being looking at the shoulder joints, being there, and instantly you are not doing anything. You experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Mind continues to live within. There is a space and there is a calmness. How long it took you to be calm? So the mind, by repeat practice consciously, mind will have a tremendous faith that yes, calmness is a play and a fun. Otherwise, you will say, no, I do not succeed in meditation. So the entire body, sensation, comfort, and steadiness, and space. Calmness is there. Mind is living with that understanding. We are also carefree. Do you see that being carefree is also a way to purify the mind? What is that way? You are indifferent. Or I use the word endurance. Crazy thoughts are coming, you are not attached. Good thoughts are coming, you are not attached. Let these thoughts come and go. That is why we say, let these thoughts come and go. Any thought, feeling, amazes, sensation enters the mind. That gives you an experience. You are an experiencer. You're not your experience. So knowledge should separate these two. The moment you have a separation, you are a seeker, you are purifying the mind. See, each and every aspect, you are a teacher to yourself, you understand clearly. But now in that space, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Do you remember? Mantra of the word meaning, knowledge. So it's a part of the contemplation. So non-seeker mind thinks that, you are asking me to think. How can I achieve into meditation? No, that's wrong approach. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. So now we go to the meaning, let there be a well-being for all. Well-being for all. And knowledge. Everyone is seeking well-being. That's the natural, impulsive nature of every living species. The more and more this thought with the knowledge settles in you, what happens? Say your dad is reacting, and you know what? My dad is seeking well-being by being reactive in anger, but I'm learning Eastern wisdom. My approach is different. So what is going to happen? Your mind is not going to react. It will respond. Understand that part clearly. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. It's better that your mind continues to recite the mantra mentally, emotionally, at all places, in all situations, at all time, and whenever the mind is empty. What it means, let there be a peace, for everyone is seeking peace. Peace is our essential nature. In the presence of the impurities of the mind forgets that peace is our essential nature. Forgetfulness is lack of awareness. Lack of awareness is because of the impurity of the mind. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let there be wholeness in all. Wholeness. Completeness. Little typical. Some of you might have absorbed the essence of it. Essence is that when the mind discovers the completeness or the wholeness in me, my mind will not desire anything for the sake of peace and happiness. So when there is no desire, it's the purity of the mind. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. You may recall. What do you recall? Knowledge and the joy gives that state, that moment of auspiciousness at all times. So what do you mean? Simply, you have some anxiety, find out the knowledge. The moment you have a right knowledge, the joy returns. You convert that anxiety into an auspicious moment. That is the journey of the highest seeker. So we have followed this. We will continue with the breathing practice. Remember, many pointed awareness has to be maintained. First, awareness of sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the body. Second, awareness of the space inside the head. Third point of awareness, you are dropping Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Keep on dropping Om Shanti deep inside the forehead in the space to separate the mind from the breath and from the body. And now comes, you start breathing from the chest expansion and contraction. That's another point of awareness. Continue quick and fast breathing from the chest, expansion and contraction of the chest. Continue. You have a change in experience. Recognize and accept it. I'm doing it so that you can feel the noise of the breath. It is short and quick with an expansion and contraction of the rib cage. And stop it. Do nothing. Experience the changes. Recognize, accept that. Don't give too much of importance. Don't get attached. And why is that? Don't give too much of importance. We get attached. And then we say, if I'm doing the meditation tomorrow, I'll have the same set of experiences. Not at all possible. And if that is made possible, you are habitual, impulsive. That's another level of subtle impurity. Every time you have a new experience, why, how, we'll talk about it. So now the Om Shanti continues, the steadiness in the body continues. You are looking into the space inside the forehead, that continues. Only one change. Now you have a belly breathing. But you inhale, the belly goes out. You exhale, the belly goes in. You feel. There are secondary benefits. I'm not talking about it. Your constipation, your indigestion will also be destroyed. I would say it will go away if you're doing the practice regularly. It's a longer breath. We are still doing 2.5 minutes each type of the breathing. We have to reach to minimum 3 to 5 minutes. Then you will see a tremendous change. Continue. Fine, stop it. When the mind stops in between, obviously it is due to the mind and the impurity of the mind. Mind says, no, I'm not able to. After all, there is a capacity. No, we can increase that capacity. You're doing nothing, you experience the changes, you recognize these changes and accept those changes. I've already put the disclaimer, no hypertension, no heart issues, no other issues. If there is, you can talk to me before. So now we are going for the third breathing. Awareness of the body, sensation, comfort, and steadiness continues. Om Shanti continues. This, you are aware of the space within, inside the forehead continues. And now you have changing only one thing is the belly and the chest breathing together. It's a long breath. You are consciously inflating the belly and the ribs. You're consciously deflating the belly and the chest with a steadiness in the body continues. Om Shanti also continues. Sometimes I know you will forget the Om Shanti. You used to do it. But if we are able to maintain it, we have already separated mind from the body. So we are using the breath not only to separate. The moment the separation, purity is there. It's so easy, yes? Continue. Very long in the hissing. I'm doing to demonstrate so that you can feel to the noise of the breath. It should be long enough. It's a longer breath and the hissing breath with Om Shanti, bodiness, steadiness in the body. And now leave that practice, leave that step also. Start breathing deep, silent, and slow. This time, the breath is deep, 100% silent. You even do not hear the noise of the breath. And slow. You're breathing slowly. So when you're breathing slowly, your Om Shanti is also going to be deeper and longer mentally, moving the mind during inhalation from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and from the tailbone to the crown of the head while exhaling. And this time it's not dropping Om Shanti, it's a longer, as if you're singing. Om Shanti during inhalation. Shanti ends at the tailbone. During exhalation, the Shanti ends at the crown of the head, and it starts with the Om. But not only we are purifying the mind, but we are also stripping the mind from the prana. From the impure mind, we are stripping the prana, the life force. So what happens? The impurity will always work with the energy. If the energy is taken away, mind is helpless to react. So that gives a new level of awareness. That is what we are working on. Be very clear. So if you are clear, you know I have to do little more. I have to keep on doing it. I have to be committed. And leave this step also. Now almost you are doing nothing. You experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the body. The breath is normal. You don't control it. You are just looking casually deep inside the cave of your heart, the triangle, and there you drop as a play and a fun, Om Shanti, on each side of the triangle to check if the mind follows what your intellect is saying. I'm not saying anything, I'm not guiding you. You're the teacher. So your intellect is the teacher. So your intellect realizes that the mind is moving with Om Shanti without any obstruction or a barrier. At that time, center of a triangle, pushing the mind with Om in the cave of the heart and Shanti. And once you have done the Shanti, there is a self absorption. Be there. You're doing it consciously. You have understood each step. What you're doing, you are preventing any kind of hallucination and imagination. If you do not understand and do it, this step may lead to kind of a hallucination and imagination. Shanti. You drop it, and then that it is totally beautiful. With those people, I can see there is a motionless state of the body. With few of them, I could see their eyeballs are not moving, obviously. There's a kind of self absorption. There are outer indications also. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. It was a very deep, peaceful meditation for me. I had a sense almost of nothingness.
Nothing. I mean, beautiful.
Yes, it was wonderful. But I have a question. You said when you do the breathing and you say Shanti, you're supposed to separate your mind from the body. But I find when I do the quick and fast breathing, I'm coordinating the Shanti to the rhythm of my breathing, and that's probably not right.
No, you are coordinating means they are already separate. That's why you are coordinating.
Oh, okay.
Definitely, yes. That's another expression that let me coordinate. So because there are two, that's why you're coordinating. So in the deeper state of the mind, you already know they are separate. That is what we need. Beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. Thank you for that. Yes, I found it to be a very deep meditation with zero resistance. I was in the moment and guided by your words. There was no thoughts of the past. There was no thoughts of the future. I just followed along with your voice. And actually, I guess I am lying, because the only resistance that I did have is that I didn't want to raise my hands to my eyes. I wanted to stay in the state of meditation. So
That's
thank
so
you.
wonderful. You see what Stephen made a point that zero resistance, zero resistance. So when the mind lives at the zero complaint level in the world every day, from moment to moment, the mind is already purified. Did you understand what I said? Zero resistance, then I move to the zero complaint level. There is no complaint. The mind is free. Beautiful. How are you, Terry?
I got completely lost in it. I think I fell asleep.
That's good. Okay.
And
Yes, and you're totally relaxed and calm. Yeah, I told you. I think you might remember that in the early practices of meditation, sleep is okay, but in advanced stages, and I could see you had a sleep because you could not sleep last night. Yes. How are you, Brandy?
Happy birthday, Girish.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Happy
Um,
birthday to my body, mind, intellect, and my ego.
yeah. So it was really my practice today was really absorbed. I was so absorbed in my practice it kind of surprised me. Yeah, it was. I went in pretty deep, pretty fast, and I had one little interruption somewhere in there, but I recognized it and just settled back in. So.
Yes. Yes, I'm giving another word to you and to everyone. I recognize the resistance and I let it go. Sometimes we have a reaction against someone. Let it go. Let it go. No complaint. That's a beautiful. That's really a good point. How are you, Sam? Where is Sam?
Good. My mind had a little bit resistance, wanted to have some resistance to the breathing today, but I pushed through it, and I'm thankful that I did, because on the other side it was very peaceful and
Good.
rewarding.
Rewarding, I could see that everyone changing. So now we all have to change in our thought, speech, and action in our daily life also. That is important. So how are you, Samir?
Sir, I think that resistance is not overcoming me. I am overcoming the resistance.
Good.
Means my thoughts, positive thoughts, they overcome the resistance. And many times it is happening, and I am feeling very good about it in the whole daytime. And this is happening
Yes,
with.
yes, yes. You see that, why we share the experiences so that, in 1 hour I cannot speak at length. So when you share your experience and you invoke certain point, so it's a very good point that resistance did not take over me. I take over the resistance. How I take over the resistance? Because I started contemplating and reflecting. So when I start contemplating and reflecting, those resistance were minimized or dropped or dissolved. Example, I come to your house and your mind wants to react, and then you take over that resistance. For example, and that too we should apply living with our family members or the workplace or the people or the strangers. So you see, you are on a spree to purify the mind all the time. What is this? Self-awareness program. That is self-awareness program. How are you, Vaibhav?
Sir, I'm good. Like I have some cold and sore throat. So, but during the practice, I totally forgot about that. My awareness was not in this. My awareness was totally inside, and it
Good.
was calm.
Very good. I could see also, sometimes people complain that, no, I have a lot of problem. My nose are blocked. I cannot do the practice. You have already created a stiff resistance in your mind, and that mind will go through. You try this anytime. And you will find if you overcome that resistance of the mind, first it comes by a thought. Thought comes from the past impressions. So he said that there was no resistance during the practice. How are you, Ashok?
No, sir, happy birthday to you.
Okay.
And I'm not at the home. I'm at the site working for the last 2-3 days, and day and night work is
Good.
going. But yes, I was feeling some discomfort as well. But overall, it was okay. And
Overall, it will.
going
Yes.
inside. Yes.
Any kind of a discomfort in the beginning, what happens that we do these practices at different locations. So the mind, due to its past impression, brings those discomfort. But if we continue, that discomfort also leaves us. We have only one. We have done Terry. Yes. How are you, Sangeeta?
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you. Happy birthday to this body, mind, intellect, and ego. Yes.
सर बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत peaceful, एकदम absorbed.
Good. She says that it was very good. So any question that you have, think of this. We will talk about these conventional methods of purification, and then we will go to what is the highest, greatest, most powerful method of purification of mind. That is all for today. Thank you, my friends, and Happy New Year ahead. Every day should be Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Namaste.
sir.
But convention is there, so Happy New Year.
Namaste, everyone.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, we should follow the convention.